Hello, everybody. This is Sunko, the Korean bro. Today is 2022, August 13, and today is Saturday. And let's go to articles about stock market and let's get back to where we were in the website. Okay. First, marketbeat.com. Mm. These days we have a upward trend in stock market, and which is really good because all this time my account um the color of my account has been red, but now it's going to be green soon. So I'm really happy. Um, anyway, what do we have? Two important retail stock battles to watch. Climate bill could call community shift to nuclear. Okay. Cinema took Wall Street money while killing tax investors. Hmm. Expanded IRS free file system one step closer in Dems bill. Pipeline breaks spills 45,000 gallons of diesel in Warming. Um, in Biden's big bill, climate healthcare deficit reduction, Congress okays Dems climate health bill. Biden Trump. Russia GDP drops 4% in quarter second, first full quarter of fighting. Hmm. And next we have here is a article about Honeywell. Okay, I'm not just gonna go read the articles that I just picked, and then we'll just go over to the next one. Okay. Uh, Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, Ford versus General Motors, Boeing versus Airbus. The corporate world is filled with heated rivalries spread across many industries. Um, like classic sports team rivalries, they capture our imaginations because we can't resist seeing two well-matched giants battle it out. As investors, there can be even more on the line. Developments around sales, margins, capital expenditures can give a crucial edge to one company. Often, the other fights back with a punch of its own to keep us on the edge of our seats. This upcoming week, we will get to see another round in two of corporate America's most intense battles. These quarterly updates will not only tell us about who is getting ahead, but the outlook for the overall retail space. Walmart versus Target. Walmart reports second quarter results before they open on August 16th. Wall Street will be looking for earnings per share of $1.62, which would represent a 9% decline from the same period last year. Late last month, management for the world's largest retailer surprised the market by cutting its quarter second and full year guidance due to the impact of rising food prices on consumer spending. Home Depot versus Lowe's. Lowe's companies. Hmm. Anyway, what's the point of this article is there are two companies that are competing against each other, and like it's important to watch because it's not like they're like the same. One is bigger than the other, right? So it's important to look at it and inspect which is bigger. Mm. Climate bill could coal community shift to nuclear. A major economic bill headed to the president has game-changing incentives for nuclear energy industry. A major economic bill headed to the president has game-changing incentives for nuclear energy industry, experts say, and those tax credits are even more substantial. Uh, if a facility is sited in a community where a coal plant is closing, uh, the transformative bill provides the most spending to fight climate change by any one nation ever in a single push. Could coal communities shift to nuclear? Now, we had a coal community, but now it's shifting to nuclear because coal community is about to uh, collapse, or it's something that people think is about to be over. I guess. Uh, let's repeat this, okay? Okay. Major economic bill headed to the president has game-changing incentives for nuclear energy industry, experts say, and those tax credits are even more substantial. If a facility is sited in a community where a coal plant is closing, okay, um, if a facility is sited in a community, if a facility is sited in a community, okay, so government is even encouraging nuclear companies to have their plants in their area or have their plants uh, built, uh, you know, in the area where coal is closing. Uh, the transformative bill provides the most spending to fight climate change by any one nation ever in a single push. Among the many things it could do, nuclear energy experts say, is spur more projects, like one Bill Gates is planning in Kenmore, Wyoming. Gates Company to our power plants to build an advanced, non-traditional nuclear reactor, employ workers from a local coal-fired power plant scheduled to close soon. Mm. Companies designing and building the next generation of nuclear reactors could pick one of two new tax credits available to carbon-free electricity generators, such as wind and solar. Okay, let's go. Let's go. The next one. Sin Christian Cinema, the Arizona Democrat who single-handedly thwarted her party's long-time goal of raising taxes on wealthy investors, received nearly $1 million over the past year from private equity professionals. Okay, it's a big thing. Hold on. Cinema to Wall Street money while killing tax on investors. The Arizona Democrat who single-handedly thwarted her party's long-time goal of raising taxes on wealthy investors received nearly $1 million over the past year from private equity professionals. It's a big thing because she uh like she like she was like she was like raising taxes on investors, uh but while she was doing that secretly, she was she was receiving money from Wall Street, right? That's not good, right? Over the past year, from private equity professionals, hedge fund managers, and venture capitalists whose taxes would have increased under the plan. For years, Democrats have promised to raise taxes on such investors. Democrats have promised to raise taxes on such investors who pay a significantly lower rate on their earnings than ordinary workers. Hmm. Democrats have promised to raise taxes on such investors who pay a significantly lower rate on their earnings than ordinary workers. But just as they closed in on their goal last week, Sinema forced a series of changes to her party's $740 billion election year spending package, eliminating a proposed carried interest tax increase on private equity earnings, blah, blah, blah. Whoa. It goes on and on. But the point is, she's doing something really bad and she's got to be punished. That's the point. Expanded RH free file system one step closer in Dems bill. The flagship climate change And healthcare bill passed by Democrats and soon to be signed by President Joe Biden will bring U.S. taxpayers one step closer to a government-operated electronic free-file tax return system. Okay, here it is. Government-operated electronic free-file tax return system. Free-file tax return system. I don't know whatever that is, but it seems like it's really important because it's even written as an article, right? It's something lawmakers and advocates have been seeking for years. For many Americans, it's frustrating that beyond having to pay sometimes hefty tax bills, they also have to shell out additional money for tax preparation programs or prepares because of an increasingly complex U.S. tax system. It's definitely something we should do. And when the RS is adequately resourced, it's something that will happen, said Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen at June's Senate Finance Committee hearing. And now that the RS is set to receive nearly $80 billion through the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, the agency has the means to develop new systems to help Americans pay their taxes. Pipeline break spills 45,000 gallons of diesel and warming. Diesel pipeline and warming owned by a company that's being sued by federal prosecutors over previous bills in two other states cracked open and released more than 45,000 gallons of fuel. State regulators and a company representative disclosed Friday. Pipeline breaks spills 45,000 gallons of diesel warming, Wyoming. Diesel pipeline Wyoming, owned by a company that's being sued by federal prosecutors over previous spills in two other states, cracked open and released more than 45,000 gallons of fuel. State regulators and company representatives disclosed Friday. Cleanup work is ongoing from the spill that was discovered by the pipeline's operator in July 27, said Joe Hunter, emergency response coordinator with the Wyoming Department of Environmental Quality. The fuel spilled into sandy soil on private ranchland near a small community of Zuzix in eastern Wyoming did not spread very far, he said. Okay, next one. Okay. Russia. The gross domestic product contracted 4% in the second quarter of this year, the first full quarter since Russia sent troops into Ukraine. The state statistical service says Friday Russia was hit with a wide array of sanctions following its move into Ukraine on February 24th, including sanctions that cut off some Russian banks from the SWIFT international transfer system, a significant exodus of foreign companies. Reported by the Rostad service did not analyze why GDP was lower this year than in the same quarter of 2021, but he said there was a 15.3% drop in wholesale trade and a 9.8% contraction in retail trade. Russia has reported a sizable GDP increase in the first quarter of 2022 and for the last three quarters of 2021. Anyway, Russia GDP drops because of sanctions, right? Here it says wide array of sanctions following its move into Ukraine. Okay. Okay, now let's go over to Yahoo Finance. There's not much to see. Market beat. Okay, we had 13.60% up by Pell Interactive. Stock to watch after hours. Okay, its revenue is increasing dramatically. Pal Interactive. Okay, China tariffs, three factors that may challenge Biden. Taiwan matters far more to the world economy. Hmm. How can I generate some steady income in this volatile market? Here are three top rated stocks yielding up to 7.5%. Don't give up on the cheap makers. These nine stocks look cheap. Okay. Hmm. Six software stocks to buy and four to sell, according to analysts. Morgan Stanley bullish on these two stocks for at least 40% upside. Here's why. Hmm. The economy is very weak. Here's why. Kathy Wood believes the Fed will actually cut rates in 2023. Plus three stocks she likes right now. These four biotech, Sparkle and IVD 50. It's a Tom Jones rally, but it may be overbought, says analyst. Elon Musk says lithium demand will continue to boom. Hmm. Here are two stocks that could benefit. Stock market cash bullish week with more gains. It's going to be government money. Jim Rogers just issued a serious warning to crypto investors. Here are the two shockproof assets. Rocket Pharmaceutical stock scores rising relative strength upgrade. Good news for retirees and retirement savers. Hmm. Oh, okay. The SoftBank experiment has failed. Here's what comes next. Hmm. Three growth stocks show rebounding strength. Get spots on the watch list. Don't trust the stock market rally. Strategists see more trouble ahead. Can Amazon and Apple continue to lead stocks higher? Signs point to be more buying. The big winners and losers in the inflation bill. Morgan Stanley's Kathy Lord prepping for the next bull market. Earnings season shows private equity firms bracing for slower fundraising. Waste management stocks soar earnings approach or pass by points. Seven companies at risk of liquidity squeeze. Six stocks play the push for renewable energy. The market is acting like a peak inflation is over. National Fest. Coinbase is looking more like a meme stock. Watch out shorts. Metaport stock, a Johnson better outlook. A hope for relief on part shortages. Billionaire Mark Cuban takes surprise stance on controversial new tax. Blink charging stock scores rise on relative strength upgrade. Poland's economy mirrors the Europe struggle. Investors should be cautious. Keep calm and get ready. Here's what to do during a stock market correction. Don't get burdened for solar's rocket ship higher. One analyst says that these four big software stocks. First, solar stock gets our another upgrade thing, the Inflation Reduction Act. Investors sour on posh stake despite growing market. Tesla, Amazon are in line for a tax hit from Inflation Reduction Act. WeWork shares spike as CEO and CFO both buy stock. Okay, let's read articles one by one, okay? China tariffs, three factors that could affect whether Biden eases the Trump era duties. Mm. China's military drills in the Taiwan Straits following House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan. are raising new questions about whether the Biden administration will ease tariffs levied on Chinese imported goods. Mm. China's military drills in the Taiwan Strait following House Speaker Nancy trip to Taiwan are raising new questions about whether the Biden administration will ease tariffs levied on Chinese imported goods. Okay. Beijing's war exercises caused the Biden administration to reconsider whether it should ease some of the $370 billion worth of tariffs levied against Chinese imports during the Trump administration, Reuters reported Wednesday. And Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo told Bloomberg that Chinese President Xi Jinping's military drills made relations with China more challenging and harder. But I'm hopeful that we'll get beyond that and get back to a place where we can have more of those discussions. Here are three factors to monitor as the situation evolves. Tariff explosions, congressional reaction. What are we expecting here? Okay, China tariffs, three factors that could affect whether Biden eases the Trump era duties. So once they ease tariff, once they ease tariff levied on Chinese imported goods, then it's highly likely that uh, China will export more goods over to the states, which leads to uh, positive economy vibe in China, right? Mm. Well, here are the three factors to monitor as the situation evolves. So, three factors, okay, three things that we have to watch, okay? Tariff exclusions, okay, okay, congressional reaction, and inflation's impact. Hmm. They are the three factors. Uh, okay, skip. Well, it's something that we have to watch. It's not yet decided. So once it's decided, then that's where we have to watch. Taiwan matters far more to the world economy than many people realize. Economics explains why Taiwan matters far more to the world economy. China's latest military exercises encircling Taiwan have clear ramifications for the global economy following U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's recent visit to Taipei. Taiwan matters far more to the world economy than its 1% share of global GDP would indicate. A senior economist in the Emerging Asia Team Capital Economics wrote in a note the military exercises included live fire drills, missile launches, restricting access to ships and aircraft in the area. Data compiled by Bloomberg shows more than 40 vessels have navigated around the drill zones south of Taiwan's main port. A further escalation in cross-strait tensions that cut Taiwan's export off from the rest of the world will lead to renewed shortages in the automotive and in the electronic sector and put further upward pressure on inflation, letter wrote. He noted that Taiwan is the world's largest producer of the processor chips, is the world's largest producer of the processor chips that are increasingly ubiquitous in new products, having twice the market share of the next biggest producer. Later added that 92% of the most advanced semiconductors are made by TSMC in Taiwan, making its dominance at the high end even greater. So if Taiwanese semiconductor supply were disrupted for a prolonged period, electronics and automotive manufacturers would struggle to find alternative suppliers. So, uh, well, unlike here it says 1% share of global GDP indicate, right? but um, it's way much more impactful considering their GDP. Taiwan matters far more to the world economy than its 1% share of global GDP would indicate. Because they produce uh, a lot of chips, semiconductor chips. So once they were disrupted, they would have, clients would have hard time finding suppliers. Who would have hard time finding suppliers, right? So is the world's largest producer of the processor chips. Okay, processor chips, they're like the dominant one. Later added a 92% of the most advanced semiconductors are made by TSMC in Taiwan, making its dominance at the high end even greater. So if Taiwanese semiconductor supply were disrupted for a prolonged period, electronics and automotive manufacturers would struggle to find alternative suppliers. Autonomy has become a key geopolitical interest for the US due to the island's dominance in the global market for microchips. Semiconductors, which go in everything from smartphones to cars, have become an integral piece to our daily lives, right? So, how can I generate some steady income in this volatile market? Here are three top rated stocks holding up to 7.5% with fat upside to boot. It's a scary time for stock market investors. Despite the recent rebound, the S&P 500 is down about 12% year to date, while the Nasdaq Composite plunged 18%. But you don't necessarily need a rallying market to make money in stocks. You can also collect dividends. Don't miss. AT&T, Sound Property Group, Plains All American Pipeline. Let's start with the household name. AT&T is one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world. More than 100 million consumers in the US use its mobile and broadband services. At the same time, the company also serves nearly all of the Fortune 1000 companies with connectivity and smart solutions. And because wireless and internet service are necessities for the modern economy, AT&T generates a recurring business through thick and thin. The company pays quarterly dividends of 27.75 cents per share, translating to an annual yield of 6.1%. To put things in perspective, the average S&P 500 company yields just at 1.5%. Next one, okay. Don't give up on the chip makers. These non-stocks look cheap, okay. Let's read and find what these are. Okay, skip. Unless I pay subscription fee, I cannot read it. DraftKings. Okay. There you go. More Stanley bullish on these two stocks for at least 40% upside. Here's why. Inflation has been making headlines all year, and right so. Just in recent days, the firm's analysts have tapped two stocks they see with double-digit upside for the coming months, on the order of 40% or more, using TPRank's database. We've pulled up the latest details on these Morgan Stanley choices. DraftKings. First up is DraftKings, a leader among online fantasy sports league and sports betting venues. The company stands at the cutting edge of online sports. And betting activities, offering its users a range of products, including the best in fantasy sports leagues, comprehensive sport books at betting, online casino gaming, and even a marketplace for NFTs. Given the popularity of both sports and betting, it should come as no surprise that DraftKings saw its revenues rise in the most recent quarter. Okay, let's find that out. DKNG. Wow, 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 wow. It's up by 11%. Hmm. It's on my watch list already. Hmm. Given the popularity of both sports and betting, DraftKings' solid revenue found support from the drill down in regard to users. Oh. A key metric, monthly unique payers saw 30% year-over-year growth, reach 1.5 million. A related metric, the ARPMUP, or average revenue per MUP, also grew 30% year-over-year and hit $103. These gains indicate success in both customer acquisition and retention, as well as success in promoting customer engagement. Morgan Stanley's Ed Young feels that DraftKings is fully capable of continuing its recent growth and writes, "We continue to believe DKNG is executing on its plan of narrowing EBITDA losses and moving towards profitability. As more states mature and generate positive contribution profit." Management mentioned on the call uh, its continued growth in users and having seen no material impact on the business from macroeconomic conditions. In our view, online gambling is a proven profitable business globally, and we think it is nascent enough in the US that the broader economic outlook will have minimal near term impact on the industry. DKNG, okay, it's something that we have to keep an eye on because it's hmm, online betting website. Um, you know, you know, because betting always attracts money, right? So Gordon Health. The second stock on Morgan Stanley's radar is Gordon Health, a biotech company that's taken a unique approach to the sector. Rather than work on a new therapeutic agents or medications, Gordon has focused on its research and development efforts on the development of new blood tests and lab methodology for the improvement of diagnosis and treatment in precision oncology. Hmm. Six software stocks to buy and four to sell, according to an analyst. Kevin O'Leary says these are the best assets to own as inflation stays while high. Okay, Kevin O'Leary says these are the best assets to own as inflation stays while high. Okay, U.S. consumer prices by 8.5% from a year earlier, uh, down from 9.1% in June, but still near a multi-decade high. Hmm. Well, the Fed has already raised interest rates multiple times this year, so to slow that worsen trend. It's uncertain how the economy will handle higher interest rates. Hmm. And stocks are oh no. I uh okay. Okay. I'll call you is it okay for me to call you 20 20 minutes later? Or is it urgent issue? I'll call you once it's over. Is it okay? Okay, okay. Uh, this is it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye bye.